WoolieCottage.com for our fortnightly Wednesday live chat. Just having a rummage through and sorting out some boxes. Oh, excuse me. I really need to get around to putting these art yarns back on the website. I've never done it. They just sat here since I moved over from the website last year. If anybody wants any, give me a shout. I do have them here. They're just not listed. Just not listed. Oh. What else have we got in here? Oh, that's a pretty one. Let's tidy this up. Rewind it up. And my lavender art yarn sets. I'll just wait to see if anyone turns up. I did, to be fair, forget to put this post on Instagram this morning, but I have mentioned it a few times that I'll be around today. And usually live chats are once a fortnight, so. Oh, right. There's one. It's just a standard. Hello, Mr. Phil. It's the standard merino. Just sorting them out. A little dinky one. I'll pair that with that one. Could probably do with putting these in groups. Let me just see. Oh. There you go. Mr. Phil is now managing this channel. He can give his time out and everything. What else have we got in here? That's a bit bright. A big purple one. It looks like an octopus. God, I don't even know where the beginning of this and where the end is on this one. Where are we? Oh, maybe. Oh, it looks pretty good. It looks like we might be there. So behave. Mr. Phil, there's only you and I here. I've completely forgot, so I'll be surprised if anyone turns up today. Because I've totally forgot to remind people. But then it is half term. So I'll not be surprised if no one gets here today. I may just have to give it 15-20 minutes, see if anyone turns up. If not, it's a free day afternoon. Ooh. Taking these out of a box to put them, I have no idea where. Right, so what am I doing? Oh yeah, fabric. There we go. So, I've got a couple of subjects I want to talk about today, but as I say, we'll just wait to see if anyone turns up. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm talking to myself. All right. Oh. Bear with me today. I've got a bit of a crook neck and a trapped nerve, so I'm a little bit out of sorts. Right, where are we at? What have we got down here? Junk. Stuff that needs another box. I always need, there's never enough boxes in this house to put stuff in. So I've just emptied all that art yarn and I have no idea where it's going to go, but I think it might just go and sit in this box for now because it all needs a good wash and relisted on the website. There's a box down here. There's always a box somewhere in this room. Let's see what we've got. Art yarns, hand spun yarns, little selection. Plug that in that. And then that on there. So, give it 5 more minutes. Because otherwise there's not really any point talking about what I was going to talk about today. I might give a quick mention of some of the things I was going to talk about, and if anyone's interested, if nobody starts turning up in a bit, I think everyone's away on holiday, to be fair. I don't blame them. Though where you want to go on holiday in the rain, I don't know. Camping. Oh, there's another one on the floor there. Oh. So, topics I want to talk about today, because you may not be aware of it. As I say, I'll just hang around for a couple more minutes. Tour de Fleece. So if you don't follow me on social media, but you do on YouTube, Tour de Fleece is a topic that's ongoing at the moment. And if you've never heard of Tour de Fleece, it runs the same time as Tour de Force in France. Hiya Bridie, you just had your beans and toast. Phil's here as well, Bridie. Like Just Being Monitor, school head boy. So yeah, you've got Tour de Fleece is based on spinning on the same days as the Tour de Force in France. For anyone that doesn't know. So generally what a lot of people do is set themselves challenges to every day while the race is on, spin up 50 grams of wool or whatever they can manage. Some people like to join teams. I've seen a lot lately where there's groups that are offering to give out prizes, that sort of thing. I'm not into that. You need to sort that out, Bridie says. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have time to. I haven't sat and spun anything for ages, but then again, I do need to spin my roving for my walk in the park, my walk around the Loch shop. So I've got this, I've got this big thing to spin up anyway for the shawl pattern, because I'm not using the same as everybody else, but I've got a different fibre. You're going to bring your wheel home. Yeah, you're probably better off, Bridie, because you don't get a chance when you're at the studio to do anything like that. So I've got that. That's one of my colourways for another thing that I've got going on at the moment. But I do have on the website, and usually I do like big packs, like 250 grams, and I'll do art yarn sets, so you can spin with locks and beads and stuff like that. And I just haven't had a chance to get it all up together. I just haven't had a chance, or the mindness to get my acting gear this year. And not just that, last year when I did the Tour de France, as I say, I always do roughly 200 grams. You get 200 grams of bat, it could be 200 grams of roving, or it could be a mixed pack where it's 100 grams of bat and 100 grams of roving. And last year I got quite a few people messaging me saying, look, is there any chance I could just have 100 grams? I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it's not a problem. On the website I'm on now, I can't change the settings around so I can put different weights on. It's just too complicated. So I said, right, well, what I'll do this year is just 200 gram bats and 100 gram rovings. If you want any more, then just drop me a message. Like if you wanted 200 gram rovings. So I've dyed this one. This is just the rovings. The bats, they're already in the bags ready to go out. So this has got blues and pinks and teals and greys in there. And that's from, it's not a very good picture, but it's that one there. So there's pinks and everything else. And that one's called Race Till Dusk. So there's that one. Then there's this one up here. This one here, which I've called Race Through the Sunflowers, or Sunflower Cycle it was called. So you've got the yellows, you've got these soft blues, you've got darker blues, and then the greys, and it sort of morphs into a bit of olive green. And that's off this one here, which is sunflowers on the picture of the cyclist going through it. So that's one option. So they're all based on the bats of this, like very, very similar, really quite pretty. And I don't think I can actually add pictures onto here, which would be brilliant if I could, but I can't. Yeah, it'd be lovely if I could, like I can on Instagram, but I can't do that on here. And then I have another colourway, which is this one here, which is called the City Peddler, and it's these gorgeous pumpkin oranges, teals, soft greys, all the way through, and that goes with that picture on the far end of the cyclists and teals, blacks and that. So I didn't want to go with the black. I wanted to keep it quite neutral and stick with like a grey version because there's grey in the background of that picture. So you can either opt for the bat, which is a mixed blend, or you've got the roving, and there's 3 different bases you can get the rovings on for those that don't know. There's merino tencel, merino bamboo and merino soy. So they're all listed on the website, and it's actually got its own page, so I can just knock it off when it's over and done with. We will only be around for a couple of weeks doing the Tour de Fleece anyway. Once I've taken that off the website, it'll be completely gone. So you've literally got, I think, about a fortnight, and then I'll be stopping it. And anything extra that I haven't sold, that's already been pre-dyed or pre-blended, I will leave on the website in the normal pages. So yeah, so that's that. Now this that I'm on about, this is a pre-order, and it's a collaboration that's been going on for a little while behind the scenes with my mate called Sandra. And it's, can you see in the background, it's those 2 shawls there. Now I did give it a bit of a mention, I'm sure, on one of my live chats a couple of weeks ago, but just to let you know that they're now up on sale. I've sold, I think I've sold 6 roving sets and 2 knit sets. So what your options are is you can order, this is one of them, this is one colourway, there's 3 different colourways in the knits. So this is Loch side, so you've got green yarn, the soft yellow. I've got my lights on, so you're not getting the true colour on, but they're on the website. So you've got this soft green, you've got this soft yellow, then there's a heather colour, then there's a grey, blues and blues. And what it is 350 grams of yarn. So you get those patterns, exactly the same pattern, but it's a 2-in-1, so there's slightly different variations. This one here is a gradient, and I'll show it's behind me now. It's a gradient spun yarn, a hand spun from a roving. So I have this in 2 colourways at the moment. I have it in this one, and then there's another colourway called Heather Berries. No, Summer Heather, which is this colourway here, and this is the roving in that colourway, and the yarn's done in that same colourway as well. So you've got that. So you can see it goes fawns into lilacs, and then it traces through to moss, into soft dusky pink, and then into a berry sort of plummy colour on there. And that, so you can spin the wool into a gradient, so you can knit this shawl, which has a cable. It's got a ribbon at the bottom of it, but then it's a cable edging all the way up that Sandra from Black Owl Woolens created for us to be able to do this. And this is going to be a seasonal, every quarter, new pattern will come out that I will dye the wools, and we'll come up with new selections of what we'll do them on. So the wool's actually on a Falkland wool. So it's around about 28 micron count, so it's soft, but we wanted that rustic look. So when it dyed, it had like more of a denim wash to it. So that's what we've gone with for that. Okay. So you get like sort of semi-solid, it is a solid, but you get a mottling effect through on the yarn. So yeah, so the knit set is £70, but you're talking 350 grams. You get 150 grams for the main colourway, and then you get 4 colours of 50 grams added into your kit, so that you can do on the yarn ones this contrasting knitting pattern. So it's stripes, and believe it or not, where these stripes are exactly the same pattern detail that's on the spin yarn set. So yeah, so that's what we've got going on at the moment. Honestly, my 3D printer's making the weirdest noise. Hold on a minute. Right. Yeah, didn't like the sound of that. Sounded like it was drilling through to New Zealand. That's not right. I'll have to have a look at that in a minute. It's the first time the printer's been on since I've come back, since before I went to Edinburgh. didn't like the sound of that. That sounded really bad. It sounded like the turbines on an engine in mid-flight failing. Yeah, so that's what I've been got going on in the background. So I'm a bit busy, but I'm not busy. I had quite a few of the orders going through for the knit kits last week. The knit yarn set, as I say, is 350 grams, all different colours, all hand dyed by me, on the Falkland wool. And that's £70, but if you put in a code, it says in capital letters, well, 40, the number's 40 and plus in capital letters, you'll get free postage with that. And on the spin set, that depending on which wool base you have, what blended wool, there's a tussar silk, a merino, there's a bamboo merino, and there's a tencel merino. So the tussar silk's more expensive than the other two, but they're all around about £40 or just over. So again, you get to put in the free postage one if you're in the UK to get your money taken off for that for free postage. Well, you're not getting money taken off it. You're not going to be charged for your postage, but I'll pay for it out of my pockets from the sales. So technically, I'm losing that £3.50 for postage, but you guys aren't paying it. Okay? So in the grand scheme of things, you've probably saved yourself £7. I haven't. So those are on the website. I have only got a limited amount of patterns that I'm allowed to sell with these kits. I have 20 patterns. Though Sandra says if it comes to the end of, say, like the end of, if I've sold them all, maybe the end of June, just for talk's sake, and all of a sudden somebody said, oh, I've not had a chance, but this is my first time I want to order one, then I can print off 1 or 2 extra patterns to cater for those, because then it would have been on the website for like 2-3 months, and we'll have to shut it down at some point because we've got the summer berries shawl coming out the end of the summer. So I've got to find some time in between then, as well as my Christmas advents that will go on sale in the next month or so, to be able to get these out and not dyeing these and start concentrating on the next dye collection, which will more than likely be a solid colourway. We haven't quite made up our minds yet, but yeah. So that's really all that's been going on in the background. Filming a couple of videos. I've been doing Patreon videos, so those are all on there now. The last one goes on this weekend, and then Q&A. If anyone's over there, even as a free member, you can do Q&A. I do put the Q&A up for free members to ask any questions. You won't see those answers straight away, but you will probably see them down the line. So you don't have to be a paying member to put a question up on the Q&A. I'll just pop this down here. Oh, crikey, that hurts. Yeah, so these, really nice, really worthwhile money kits, especially with the summer coming, is something just to keep you going over the summer months, and then you'll have a shawl at the end of it. But the patterns are really good. I've got to, as I say, I've got to spin up my wool so I can start knitting the pattern. What else have I been up to? Yeah, I did a video last week there on YouTube for tablet weaving. So yeah, so I got that warped up last week. So I've been doing a couple of samples on my ankle loom for next week's video. I just put and a moth blend. Okay, Bridie, stop talking to me on Instagram when I'm on YouTube. Honestly, woman, I'll have words with her later. Yeah, so I've been sorting that out, sorting out the next video. I want to have a couple of different samples of band weaves to show you the potential that you've got. Bridie, yes, but no, but Bridie. Honestly, lady, don't message me on there because it pops up on my screen and it knocks my concentration off. I tell you, honestly, it's like working with a hyperactive 5-year-old. I've lost my train of thought now. What was I talking about then? Yeah, so I wanted the ankle weaving video will be out next week, and I wanted to do a couple of samples of different types of weave patterns so that I can show you. It's simple when you get on. Though the other day there I could have had a right fit because I just couldn't understand what it was that they were asking me to do. So this is what my plan is with the inkle weaving. Before we start going on to tablet weaving, I want to just do normal plain band weaving on the inkle loom and start talking about inkle weaving, yes, Bridie, and start talking about the ways to decipher patterns, because I really find, look at the trouble you're causing, Bridie, that's what Phil says. I find it really, really hard understanding patterns. I have to really concentrate or go looking up on YouTube for knitting patterns. It doesn't come naturally to me to understand how to translate them. So I thought, well, this is, and I went looking everywhere on YouTube over the last week to see if anybody explains how to read flaming patterns for inkle weaving. And there's nobody really out there. There's more videos about how to warp up your inkle loom and that sort of thing, but they don't show you how to actually transcribe from a complicated pattern when they need you to repeat some sections like 2 or 3 times. There's no explanation of it in there. So I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to have to do it, and we'll have to muddle through together and figure it out ourselves. And then hopefully, by me doing it on my video, not that I want anybody else to copy what I'm doing, but it will give you guys a little bit more understanding of what is needed from you in the sense of learning how to do this inkle weaving so that you can do more complicated patterns. What I don't appreciate though is when somebody comes along and says, oh, this pattern I did on a 4 shaft loom and I've interpreted it to be able to do it in an ankle loom. Sorry, don't do that. Don't do that. Life's complicated enough without you starting with more information and making it overcomplicated. Band weaving should be pretty simple to do. Because really at the end of the day, if you have warped out your ankle loom in the correct way, i.e. colours, the amount of strands per colours, whether those need heddlesome or if you're doing 2 threads together, that sort of thing, all you're really doing at the end of it is going in, out, in, out, in, out for the basic standard of inkle. And there's terminologies to be used, and we'll go through that as time goes on. But then you've got other types of inkle weaving where you're picking up stitches. That to me doesn't come easily neither. So that's another terminology and a way of trying to explain things and understanding the patterns, because I don't think it's simple. I genuinely don't think it's simple. So if I don't, hopefully you guys will be joining in with me and you can learn yourself. You're very hands-on learner and need someone to hold my hand while you're doing it. I'm a bit like that myself, Bridie, but I'm a bit of a swine as well. I won't give up until I've figured it out, you see, and that's why you guys need me. Because if I've had banged my head against a brick wall, gone off and had a bit of a sulk about it, looked at my ankle and went, yeah, do you know what, I don't like you anymore, I'm not enjoying it, and then come back a month later and say, I'm going to beat this, I'm going to sort it out, I'm going to figure it out, that's what I'll do. And I'll eventually find a point where I can understand what it is they need me to do. So I'm just going to take you through the really basic steps. I say basic steps from the easiest way to start learning and understanding, and then we'll start joining in and shouting at the instructions together of how to do double heddles and picking up stitches to do letters and stuff. Not that I really want to do that, but no doubt some of you will ask me to do that. By that point, it won't be the ankle loom that I'm shouting at, it'll be yous lot I'm shouting at. Elizabeth, hiya sweetie, I didn't see you hanging around. If you guys get confused, then I'm sticking just to watch your pictures. Yeah, it's going to be a bit... I did this. I'm not impressed because I ordered more coloured cotton the other day from Weft Blown, and DPD have still got hold of it. So I've been doing this one. See the wavy lines? Look at that. It's got wavy lines. I had to undo it a couple of times yesterday, so I had to leave it. But it's all the way underneath. Look. Got wavy lines, thin lines and fat lines. And it's literally 2 strands of ornament. That should be your start. So you've got 2 strands, 2 strands, 2 strands, 2 strands, and then you've got a repeat here, so it's 4 groups of 4. Just make your stripes thicker, but it makes them wavy. Look. So that'll be the second pattern that we'll do next week. But I missed a strand underneath here because my heddles need retying and they kept getting trapped and everything else. So I need to have a word with that, and we'll sort that out later on. And hopefully I'll have that one more or less all done for next week. On the one that I did last week, which I will put back on there, I just want to get this one finished off. Then I'll do the exact same warp that I did last week. I've had to tweak with my Inco loom as well, because it's mad how there's lots of different designs and styles of an Inco loom that I've had to really concentrate to figure out how to warp up mine, because it's not warped up the same way as what I would have warped up my Ashford Inklet. So I found that confusing. So I've watched a couple of videos where, I mean, it's mad because I've been doing it for ages, more from tablet weaving before the Inco, because it's something you can do without having the equipment. All you need is a pack of playing cards and some decent yarn, and then you're off. Or an radiator that you can tie it to, and something to clamp the ends in so it stays all in place when you're not playing with it. So for me, that was more versatile and easier and portable, and I could just pick it up, leave it for a couple months and go back to it. But this is a bit more different, because you need to figure out how. And if you haven't had the instructions, because where I got my loom from, they don't send you set-up instructions of where they expect you to have the heddle. And when you go and looking on Etsy, they've got 3 or 4 different types of models of theirs, and not a single one of them are either A, set up, or B, have the heddles and the heddle peg in the exact same place in any of the models. They're all slightly different, which makes it even more confusing. So I've had to muddle with it. I've had to figure it out on my own. So I've now changed the position of my heddle. So there's my tension, and I've now put my heddle here so that I can do a longer warp all the way through. So it comes around this front bar now instead of me using this one, and this one I just use to tension off the warp all the way through, and then just loosen it when I need to pull down my warp length when I get to jammed pack through this bit. But I can still move my warp up and down in between the strands without a problem. And it's great because I don't even have to reach that far. I can literally use my shuttle and lift it up and then push it down again. But yeah, so I figured it out. It took me 2 warps to do that. Well, the first warp I did on my demo last week. Got to go out for an hour, catch her on Instagram later and finish this video tomorrow. No problem, Bridie. I had the warp that I did on my video last week, and I kept looking at it, and I managed to get the warp done. It's downstairs, and I did do it. I completed it without a problem, but the layout of it all was really quite confusing. It was driving me potty. So I warped this up the other day there, and I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm not happy with it. Maybe because I chose a really complicated pattern, but the way the warp was sitting, I wasn't happy with it. So yesterday I had a play with this and I got another one done, and I've already woven from here all the way down here, all the way up to here in about an hour. And it took me about half an hour, 40 minutes to warp it up. It's really, really quick. Really quick to do it when you're working on an Inco loom. So I definitely advise you to have a go. If you can get a hold of one from one of your guilds or something like that, and have a go at it. It's quite enjoyable to do it until your heddles will start to untangle and unknot themselves, and then you miss up the stitch at the back. But no, I do enjoy it. It's a nice little hobby to do, and completely different from the norm. And it's nice to have something to go and be able to go and do somewhere outside in the garden without having to take loads of bits and pieces or carry my spinning wheel over to the other side of the street and everybody watches me. Whereas doing that, I mean, I don't really like spinning in the heat anyway. Spinning in pure sunshine in a sun-trapped garden is just not comfortable at all. So yeah, so that's what I'll be doing with you for at least the month of June. I'll be pumping out these videos all about the Inco loom, and how to get going and how to interpret patterns. So I hope that's all right with everybody. If there's any other topics, I mean, I've got my peg loom there, so I mean, maybe that's something we could think about later on down the line. But if there's any other topics or craft type things that I haven't covered before, because these are the back to basics, so I really just want to get you going. And then next year we may go into a bit more advanced videos on doing different types of things. But I just want to take it one step at a time with everybody, really, because I'll be on here for years, to be fair. There's no point heading straight down the rabbit hole miles ahead of everybody else when we can just take our times learning new things. So if you've got any other topics or any subjects that you want me to cover, I am a jack of all trades. I have done embroidery, I have done tapestry, I've done all sorts. I do DIY, I do dabble in a bit of everything. I'm not perfect at a lot of things, but I know how to do them. So if there's any crafts in the future that you want me to maybe cover or have a little think about and maybe see if I could come up with something, then let me know. Let me know. And I'll quite happily see if I could come up with something for like do it as a monthly or a bi-monthly topic. All right. Time will be half past I can't even see 1 o'clock. It's probably about 1 o'clock. It'll be 12:30 I came on here. So I think I will go off early today. I've covered the topics that I wanted to. So you've got your Tour de Fleece are on the website at the moment. You have got your the collaboration with Sandra from Black Owl Woolens for the knitting pattern. They're on the website at the moment, but once they've gone, and they will definitely be gone off the shop by sometime in July. Can you do band weaving on a smaller rigid heddle? You can do band weaving on a rigid heddle loom. Very quite easily, actually. All you need to do is make sure I have got a little loom, and maybe that's something I can do to show you how to warp it up. Jackie, my loom's down the back there. Is it down the back or is it down the back of my thingy? It's over there somewhere. I'm in the middle of tidying up my room. I've got an old school friend coming up. I've not seen her since I was 16. She's coming up in a couple of weeks. You have done it. Yeah, I've done it on mine as well, and I've done tablet weaving on my small rigid heddle loom. And as long as you make sure that if you're doing it without the tablets and you just want to set up for band weaving, just make sure your heddle's in there to help you lift up the top and the bottom open shots. Adelaide Forward will love some peg weaving and hand spun yarns. Do you know what? I might have to get my stepdaughter to get a picture of the weighted blanket I did for my granddaughter, or for our granddaughter, when she was born. So like 4 years ago, and it's all from all my leftover hand spun wool, and I do it on my peg loom. So yeah, Adele, we'll have to definitely do that at some point. During the summer, if we actually get one, because in the UK, I read the other day, they're forecast for the wettest summer that we'll get in 50 years. So if I can't get outside, I'm quite limited to what I can do inside here, but I'll give it a go. I'll try and do something. If it's looking like it's a couple of days of dry weather, I'll get the peg loom outside. But the only problem for me is I haven't got very much stash in the way of hand spun yarns. I've sold them all, and then I had loads of it. And then I did it for making a weighted blanket for my granddaughter. And it's lovely. Lots of rain here as well. Honestly, Adele, it's ridiculous at the moment. We've had thunder and lightning predicted, but it never happened. It's constantly dark. I can't believe we're nearly in June and I'm still wearing corduroy shirts and big jumpers. Honestly, I want a pair of boots and my jeans back on. I think I've worn shorts for 2 days last week and it was like, you know what, Joe, get those legs back, we're bringing rain. Like, thanks. It's like I haven't got a garden that I've got to finish and get grass seeds down. So, yeah. So, just have a thought. Put down suggestions underneath once this live chat comes back up onto the system. Or whenever you see me do a video, like next week will be more inkle loom weaving from what we're doing on there. And I will, if you just put down some suggestions, and I will take a very... I will take a note of a list of different things and ideas and suggestions, very much like what I do on Patreon. And I'll put a list together and maybe change the topic over every couple of months. think might be a nice idea. Instead of doing spinning all the time, I've got a lot more crafts to my belt, you see, so I'm quite happy to do that. Not very warm here in Kent, I know, Jackie. 11 degrees here, lovely. 11 degrees. What I'm going to do, I haven't done any 3D printing since before I went to Edinburgh, so I'm trying to, and that's just made the weirdest noise ever. I'm trying to get some Turkish spindles, both sizes, in the 30 and 10 gram weights, printed off over the next couple of weeks. I do have a small supply of 10 gram Turkish spindles. I will make a point of getting photographed and put on back onto the website next week. Winter jumper weather. It's ridiculous, Jackie. It's getting your thermals back out again. I refuse to do that. I'm not ready for that. Though the fire was lit yesterday, and the fire will be lit tomorrow because it's Dye Pot Thursday tomorrow. So I'll have to put the fire on just to get my wools all dried for listings for next week. It's ridiculous. It would cost me a fortune in coal this year. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so that's about it. So I've got my spin sets that are on there, my knitting pattern set collaboration, the Tour de Fleece are all on there. If you've missed anything, I'm a hybrid supported spindles. Spindles as the fire's going to be on today, feels the head boys in the room, because I've been getting getting really ridiculous messages on my live chats recently. So time it for Phil being off, and then he comes and does his monitoring like head boy at the sixth form college. You can stay there. I'm gonna have to trim that up. What was I gonna say? I think that's about it. So yeah, Patreon members, if you're over there at the moment, spinner. I know, Jackie. Patreon videos are up at the moment. The new one comes up this Sunday. If you're a free member over there, you can go onto the Q&A and put a question or whatever down, and you'll eventually see that over the next couple of months. I've got, I'm doing a video on the Tour de Fleece bats that I'm blending at the moment for 2024 Tour de Fleece. So I'll be doing an early release over to Patreon on that, but it will be up on YouTube the end of next week, so you'll get a bonus video next week. And I think that's about it. I'm just going to get this room tidied up and really properly gutted. I haven't done a spring clean in this room for ages, so I think I'll go and nip off now. I've got some knitting that I want to get on with as well. I'm on to the next section of my shawl, so I need to get on a bit more of that. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. If you want to head over to the website, don't forget, if you're ordering one of these new kits in the patterns, the roving, the 250 gram roving sets, or the hand-dyed yarn sets, all included with the patterns. I've been throwing in stitch markers in with them as well. My collection from the shop, there you go, so there's stitch markers in there on the side. 250 gram rovings for doing the shawls, which are behind me. Where's the other one gone? Oh, she's hanging up here. And that's the spin version in the gradient. They're on the website now. If you use 40 in numbers with plus in capital letters, then you'll get your free postage if you're in the UK. You can use that on any orders over 40 quid anyway. Yeah, that's me. As me all talked out, I'm going to go and pop off. You take care of yourselves, everybody. Watch out for next week's video and the bonus video for how I'm blending the Tour de Fleece colours for the art bats. They're all in the shop now. The rovings are pre-order, but only because I'm dyeing them to order, so I don't waste my stock, if that's all right with everybody else. And these are all dyed to order as well, these new knitwear kits. 20 patterns. There's 14 patterns left available in the 14 kits left available on the website. So if you want one, you've got a limited time to get them, and then they'll be off the shop come July. I'll be sending the rest of the kits up to Sandra, because she'll be doing the Black Isle Wooling show. The Black Isle, Woolcraft show up in agricultural show up in the Highlands. So she's taking a couple of these kits with her. So yeah, that's me definitely off. Take care of yourselves and be good, be careful. If not, don't get caught. And I'll see you over on Instagram on Saturday. Bye for now.